What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler. This is one of my favorite stories that I've told in a long time, and I hope it will be one of your guys' favorites too. This story is about the time that I bought a car for $250, a running car that I drove 80 miles home somehow. Now, hope you guys enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do. Don't forget to hit me up on Instagram and also join my Discord server. The link is in the description. I haven't plugged my Discord in a long time, but it's a thing. Link's in the description. Get in here, guys. Let's have some fun. Also, before I start this video, if you guys want to get a free $5 just by downloading an app, download the app Dosh. Link is at the top of the description. All you have to do is download the app, connect an eligible debit or credit card, and start earning today. You can earn cashback offers. You don't ever spend any money. It's completely free. You get money for signing up, and on top of that, you get money for referring friends. I personally have made over $6,500 off the app. You can look on the screen right now. It's legit. This isn't sponsored. I just make money off this app, and you guys can too. It's a great way for you guys to help me for free if you don't want to donate but still want to support me. I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. All you got to do is download it, connect your card, and you're good to go. Thank you guys in advance for that. Without further ado, let's dive into it, baby. The $250 car. Now listen, man. This fucking car, oh my God. So to preface this night, this happened literally yesterday, right? I was with my boys Cody and Josh. Cody being Chris for my stories. I use his real name now because I live with him now, so you guys are going to be hearing him a lot, so I'm just calling him by his real name. But I'm kicking it with Cody and Josh. And we recently moved pretty far away from where I lived before, right? We're about 2.5 hours away from where I lived before. So we don't have like a weed man very close to us out here yet, right? The only guy that we know that can serve us is about an hour drive, which sucks, but we make the drive every time we have to re-up until we find a guy out here, right? So last night, it's re-up night, right? I'm like, all right, guys, pile in the car, we're going. We hop in Josh's car, and Josh drives this little 1994 Honda Civic, tiny little car, right? And we all pile into this thing. This car is ancient, dude. It's got a lot of fucking miles on it. And we're just rumbling down the highway, driving our hour drive to go get our weed, and everything's, all perfect. We're going to meet up with one of Cody's friends, who we'll name later. And we're maybe 2 miles down the street from this guy. We're in bumfuck nowhere, middle of Illinois, right? Like, I'm talking just cornfields. Cornfields, dude. There's nothing else in the middle of Illinois, right? So we're driving, and we turn off of the highway, right? We get off, and there's this little road that we take that is just the most god-awful, pothole-filled, like, death trap of a road ever. Like, this is like, If roads were Crash Bandicoot levels, like that's what this fucking road was, dude. It was ridiculous. Like a literal death trap for cars, right? So, of course, we're driving, and Cody's doing his best. Cody's the one driving the car because Josh was a little fucked up, so he didn't want to drive. So Cody's driving the car. I'm sitting shotgun. And all of a sudden, the car's just rumbling after we get past this little Crash Bandicoot level-ass road, right? And the car just starts rumbling, and we don't necessarily realize it's a flat at first. We think something's wrong with, like, the transmission or something like that, because it didn't feel like a flat. Like, the tire didn't just rip. It, like, slowly deflated, right? So at first, we didn't realize it was a flat. Eventually, the tire just completely got ripped from driving on it continually because we didn't stop. We were like, well, we're only like 2 miles away. Let's just keep going. And we had to pull over in between two fucking cornfields. Like, I'm talking, this road is 1 lane each way, and it's just cornfields on each side, and it's freezing outside. We pull over. We're like, fuck, dude. We got to switch the tire, right? We go pop the trunk and remember very quickly that Josh has no spare. So we're stranded in between two fucking cornfields with no spare tire, right? And we're like, fuck, dude. So we call up Cody's buddy, who we're going to call, what are we going to call him? We're going to call him Cameron. We call up Cody's buddy, Cameron. And we're like, yo, dude, we were on the way to your house. We're really close. We're about 2 miles away. Could you come pick us up, dude? We got a flat and we got to leave the car here, right? And it's already 8, 9 o'clock at night. So we can't just jack the car up, take the wheel off, take it to like a discount tire and get a new wheel put on and be all fine and dandy. All the tire shops are closed. So we have to just leave the car there until the morning, right? And we're worried it's going to get towed. So we have Cameron come pick us up. We all shake up with him. I'm like, hey, thank you, dude. Thanks for grabbing us. Very great guy. He picks us up with his girlfriend. We all hop in his car and go back to his place, right? Now, we're chilling. We go back to his place so he can grab something. I don't remember what he had to grab. But then we went pretty much directly to the weed man, if I remember correctly. We went directly to the weed man, who was another, 15 minutes away. And we had to rely on Cameron because Cameron's the guy with the plug. We don't directly speak to this guy yet. But nevertheless, Cameron drives us to the weed man. I throw him the money. He grabs us the bud. I only bought a half ounce, right? Because I go back up there pretty frequently, so I don't need to buy a shitload at a time, right? And I don't know the plug yet, so I don't want to be giving him huge serves until I really know how consistent he is, right? This is only my second time grabbing off the dude. We're all just blown as fuck, right? We can't believe it. So we grab the bud. On the way back, we hit the liquor store too, right? We're like, well, if we're going to be crashing here for the night with Cameron, we might as well at least get some drinks in us and make the night go by faster because we're all just sleeping on this guy's couch. It sucks. So we get there. We're chilling in his house. Perfectly nice house, And as we pull back up from the liquor store, I see this really old fucking Buick parked out front of his house. I'm talking really old, and there's duct tape and plexiglass on the driver's side window, and it's not closed all the way. I look at this car, and the first thing I say to Cameron, and I'm like, yo, whose Buick is that? His girlfriend's like, oh, it's mine. I'm like, you want to sell it? And she's like, you don't want it. And I'm like, no, I do. And I ask a couple questions. I'm like, does the car run? Does it turn on? And she's like 50-50. And I'm like, oh, man, this sounds like my kind of car. All right. How much? And Cameron reiterates, he's like, bro, we'd feel bad selling that car to you. We really don't want you to take that car. We're probably just going to scrap it. And I had to talk him out of scrapping it. I was like, listen, dude, if that car will drive me home, okay, I will take it because my Cadillac is still back up north. It's still back in my old house. I didn't get a chance to drive it down here because it was having some issues before I got to bring it down here, right? So my Cadillac isn't with me, so I don't have my car. All we have is Josh's little old Civic, which isn't the most reliable, right? And coming towards winter, we need a second car. We need a little more of a bulky car, something that isn't going to get shit on by the winter. And this car, it looks like a lot of things were shitting on it, but winter wouldn't be one of the things that would shit on this car that hard, right? It's a little better suited for winter than Josh's 94 Civic, which weighs less than my fucking grandma probably, So I'm like, listen, dude, how much for this car? And they're like, maybe 300, but we got to think about it, Well, we'll discuss in the morning. So I'm like, all right, sounds good, dude. We're waking up at 6:30 in the next morning, right? So I dropped the car topic. We start pouring up some shots. I got 2 bottles of Ciroc and a 5th of Jack. And I bought some extra for the house as well, In fact, I still have the Ciroc right next to me. But we cracked open the Jack, and Cameron and his girlfriend are the Jack drinkers. I'm not a dark whiskey guy, but I let them grab a bottle of Jack for me just because I know they like it and as a thank you for them picking us up and coming in clutch and making sure we didn't have to spend the night in the car. So I bought the bottle of Jack for them, so they could enjoy that together. I didn't get one sip of that thing because I didn't want it. On the other hand, me and Cody and Josh were sipping the Ciroc, right? So we're sipping real good, and we're just having a chill night. And Josh gets so drunk at one point that he's laying down. He's like, the side of my face hurts, and I feel like if I fall asleep, I'm going to forget how to breathe. So this guy just lays on the couch and refuses to go to bed because he thinks he's going to forget how to breathe and die. And we're trying to convince him, yo, dog, you're not going to die in your sleep. We promise. We're all right here sleeping on the couch across from you. Because he had 2 couches. One of them was a double couch, so 2 people could fit on it. And then the other one was just a really big. This guy had the biggest couches I've ever seen, actually. But nevertheless, either way, finally Josh eventually falls asleep. And I'm not going to speak on the night too much because this night isn't what the interesting part is here. The next morning, I wake up before anyone else. I, for some reason, wake up at 6 a.m. 20 minutes before Cameron and his girlfriend wake up and come out into the living room, right? They wake up, come out, wake Cody and Josh up. I'm already awake. I'm like, what's good? I still have half a blunt from last night, so I grab it and I spark it, right? I just put it out halfway because I was so high and drunk, I just wanted to go to bed. So I pick it up and I'm like, damn, dude, good call putting that out half blunt, right? So I don't have to roll up at 6 a.m. I sparked that shit, smoked that shit. We're chilling. And after, Cameron and his girlfriend get situated, we all get situated. I'm like, so, how about that Buick? And they're like, oh, shit, we forgot. So his girlfriend hands me the keys. The keys are right here in my pocket. Hear that? That's keys, baby. But she hands me the keys, and there's 5 keys on this fucking ring. She has 1 key for the ignition, 1 key for the trunk, and then 3 keys for just random shit, right? And they all do different things on the car for some reason. And she takes me out to the car, hands me the keys. And it's once again to reiterate, this is a 1989 Buick LeSabre, right? The odometer is broken. There is no mileage reading on it. It's locked at 177K, and it's probably been like that for years. So I'm going to say this car is safely over 200K, right? Like easily over 200, probably approaching 3 by the condition. The speedometer doesn't work. So there is a GPS, a TomTom GPS duct taped above the steering wheel that gets plugged into the car outlet that tells you how fast you're going if you put in a random destination, right? So that's the only speedometer. It is a GPS duct taped to the steering wheel, the steering column, pardon me, not the actual wheel. So if this doesn't give you guys an idea of what kind of death trap I'm sitting in, I don't know what to tell you guys. On top of that, the driver's side seat buckle is jammed. It doesn't come out. So you have to like jimmy together that seatbelt and the like middle passenger seatbelt, like to kind of jimmy together a little makeshift seatbelt. This car, it's not safe, all right? I could die at any moment. This car is not highway worthy, right? So, nevertheless, I put the key in the ignition and I started it. Very gross, stinky startup, rough as fuck. And she's like warning me on things. I'm looking at her through this little plexiglass window on the front left, covered in duct tape that's hanging down. And she's like, yeah, watch the oil level. There's an oil leak. And she's just like listing off things that don't work. And I'm trying to mess with the different buttons. And surprisingly, the buttons to adjust my seat do work. They're powered, but they work. The buttons on the door to do the windows, only the back ones work. Not the front ones. Even the front right, which actually has its window in. My driver's side button just does nothing because the entire armrest just got ripped off. Like, if I set my left arm down on the door, I'm just putting my arm on exposed fucking wires. Like, this car, holy shit. If you guys don't know what car I'm talking about, if you've ever played GTA 4 and driven the Willard, that car you drive on the first mission, that's basically this car. Like, that's pretty much a spitting image of this car, right? It's just a shit bucket. So I start it, and I'm like, all right, we're just going to drive to the gas station and fill it up. She's like, there might be enough gas to get you to the gas station. I'm like, oh, that's what I love to hear. Also, the front left turn signal blinker is just missing. Like, not the bulb is out. Like, it's just completely gone, right? So I can't turn left legally anywhere. I'm going to get pulled over. If I'm getting followed by a cop, I better hook that right or I'm fucked. It's just a death trap. So I drive it to this gas station with Cody and shotgun, right? And we drive it to the gas station. We get to the gas station. I fill it up, right? And I turn the car back on, and it won't start. It's dead at the gas station. I'm like, oh, my God, what have I just gotten myself into? Cody's phone is dead, right? My phone is at like 10%, and there's no charger in this car because there's no USB anywhere. The radio's original, right? Like, there's no USB port to charge my phone. So I'm just like, fuck, dude. We're in some serious trouble, right? I get out of the car, I kick it a couple times, and I get back in, and it starts. I'm like, oh, thank fuck. Now, mind you, I haven't even gotten to the problems with the engine, okay? For some reason, also another hilarious feature of this vehicle is that for some reason, the oil meter goes up, right? As I'm driving, it goes up instead of down. I don't know why. But anyways, we're driving this car, and on our way back from the gas station, I decided to see like how fast this thing's actually capable of going. So I was just rolling this thing down the street going like 30 all the way to this gas station. So I put my foot on the pedal a little bit, and I step on it. Let me tell you, boys, this car, first off, you can't step on it. You can do nothing but lightly press the pedal. Otherwise, the transmission just pops at you like popcorn, and the car just gets scary, right? Like it's about to give out. If any of you guys are mechanics out there, you know what that problem is. Please identify it because it's one of the probably hundreds of issues with this car. But nevertheless, the transmission pops every time I gas it. So I have to slowly make love to the pedal to get my way up to 45. 45 is my max speed unless I'm going downhill. If I go downhill, I can get it rolling to 55 before my whole dashboard starts shaking. Once it gets to 60, we got it to 60 at one point. It's literally like you're in like the Wizard of Oz tornado. The whole car is just vibrating. Every piece of this vehicle is shaking at 60. So I'm like, okay, we can't take this on the highway. We're an hour away from home. We can't take it on the highway, but we have maps, right? So I drive my ass back to Connor, or not Connor, excuse me, Cameron and his girlfriend. And I'm like, yo, dude, listen, I'll take the car. And they're amazed. And I talk them down a little bit because I'm like, listen, dude, I'll take it, but it's not a $300 car, right? Like, it had more issues than I realized. Like, I was not aware of the full scope. So I was like, all right, I'll offer $240. His girlfriend's like, can you do $250? And I'm like, I'm not going to let this car go for $10. So yeah, deal. You know, I give her the $250, handed it to her there. She signs the title over to me. Amazingly, a $250 car came with the title. Like, some fucking how. So I got the keys in my hand, and now we still have the issue of Josh's fucking tire, right? We still have the issue of Josh having a flat. And I'm like, oh my God, because not only do we have to go drive back to Josh's car in this fucking vehicle, which barely made it to the gas station, we then have to drive him to the tire place, drive back to his car, and then I have to drive this car 80 miles home. I had to somehow drive this shit bucket 80 miles home, and it died at a red light at one point. Like, we almost pushed it to the curb and left it, right? But it eventually started back up. But nevertheless, this video is getting really long, and I didn't expect it to. So we're going to have to turn this into a 2-part. So I'm going to cut it here. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys are excited for part 2, because part 2 is going to be fucking lit, dude. The road trip with this vehicle on the way home is disgusting. It's gross. Nevertheless, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.